Ever since the beginning of time, humanity has used technology. Whether that technology was a stick for getting honey, the introduction of agriculture, irrigation, advancements in metallurgy, transportation, chemical refinement, projectiles, defense, offense, biological, electronic, energy, or whatever else you can think of as innovative or life-changing. People use technology to better their quality of life, and sometimes to eradicate the quality of life or life itself from others. Fortunately, technology, in whatever form it comes in, is inherently neutral. That is, it has no heart, no morality, and no intent. The intent of technology and how it will develop and for what reason it is used is the purview of man. That is, of course, until evil robots take over the planet and crush humanity like an insect. You see, the problem with technology is not technology itself, but in the heart of the person who employs it, and in their intent. It's as simple as a hammer, which can be used for building or for murder. Unfortunately, as we delve into the technological aspects of the non-human visitations phenomenon, asymmetrical communication has a way of stepping into the mix and really confusing things. Now, what I mean by asymmetrical communication is simply this. Asymmetrical communication is when conversations and information exchanges occur, and when there is a presence of inferred information not fully understood by one or multiple parties of the information, or there exist actual gaps of information where parts or details, when desired, are missing. Now, as I said, when we delve into the technological aspects of the non-human visitations phenomenon, almost any discussion about ancient technologies, modern applications, fundamentals of technological advancements in engineering, and philosophical scientism, they all rear their head and chime in with robust asymmetrical communication. In almost any instance, and well after the fact, many people claim that many of the technologies we now take for granted were of non-terrestrial origin. That is, man didn't come up with the original idea, but may have been involved in its development and implementation. It is an interesting assertion, but an assertion almost always made years or decades or even millennia after the fact, or well after the discovery of a new technology. It is asymmetrical communication in that it is speculative, non-evidentiary, and is not relevant, material, or competent to be admissible in any court of law. I don't know if the people making the assertion can see the trend of their claims, but without substantiated and corroborated evidence of these claims, they are seriously hurting the genre of ufology, esoteric mysteries, religious studies, and other research so many engage in. I get it. Sometimes these claims are made just for entertainment value. The claims are what-ifs and theoretical discussion. But when they are presented as fact, that is, by definition, prejudice to the cause of the genres they speak. People, whether cynically or by some reinforcement of their peers, or in the hearing of many questionable accounts by con men, false prophets, preachers, or non-evidentiary proclamations of science fiction figureheads, don't want to hear it anymore. People feel lied to, and these assertions muddy the waters of real testimonies and evidences. This is evidenced by the number of people who have turned their backs on the religions they grew up with after being exposed to a world of possibilities, being exposed to theories touted as fact, being exposed to new experiences they may not have been equipped to fully comprehend or cope with when they were younger. It is also evidenced by a busy public who discount what modern-day advocates claim. a public who are without resource and time devoted to the fields of religious scholastic study, the esoteric mysteries, UFO, and other phenomenon that they can't readily explain. Now, to me, it appears that everyone seems to have a foundation for what they believe and come to know is true. But few can find others with similar experiences or understanding of their belief and share it well with others. Why is that? The answer is simply because people are expressing themselves as they would in a belief system. They are expressing a worldview to the best of their ability and do not always have a reasonable argument ready for what they believe. They regurgitate something they were told instead of providing affidavit evidence from an experience. They express hope for what they alone may have seen, but others have not. They are, in short, telling others about their faith and belief. They are giving a testimony, not an affidavit. And few want to expend the time listening to another potentially made up or otherwise incoherent story about something they themselves have not experienced. Well, let me tell you something. The prognosticators and testifiers, the naysayers and cheerleaders, the expressive and introverted, they're all wrong. They're wrong because they have expressed themselves, explained themselves, given testimony of what they have seen using worldview and belief system arguments. They use their worldview and their belief system as often the sole source of their statements. There is no corroboration with anything. They have allowed facts to flow. Now, I'm not saying everyone does this, but many. They have allowed facts to flow from a worldview composed largely of relative truth, perception-based conditioning, intuition or non-rational thinking, or from testimony without corroboration. Well, that all ends here. What you are about to see in this part 1 of the non-human visitations production is going to expose much and validate little. You are about to see full disclosure of the evidence. That is, evidence that is admissible by legal standards in any U.S. court of law, and that is, it is evidentiary in whole and in part. This evidence is relevant in determining probability. It is material by affidavit or submission, and it is competent in that it is reliable. So let's begin to discover and analyze the technological nature of non-human visitations.